Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and in today's episode of Design Team 101, I will show you how to create YouTube video thumbnails using Canva. In fact, I'm going to show you how to make a template because if you are uploading a lot of videos, then it might be easier just to have a template that makes your video thumbnails consistently branded and easy and fast for you to generate. I also like to recommend Canva because it's free and you can use it from a web browser. So let's get started. Assuming you already have a Canva account, all you need to do is create a new project or design by clicking that purple button up at the top. Scroll down until you see YouTube thumbnail. These templates that Canva makes available are really convenient because they are already sized and created at the correct aspect ratio. So I'll actually show you two ways of creating your video thumbnails. The first is to leverage the library of thumbnail designs that are pre-made and available to you from within Canva. So you can click on that design button at the very top and put in some keywords to search for example, summer, and just scroll to see if something catches your eyes. Keep in mind that there are some content here that is available only for Canva Pro users, and those are the users who actually pay a subscription to Canva. So this is one of the things where there is a bit of a difference between the free version and the professional or paid version of Canva. But there are still a lot of designs that are available for free. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is even though there are some designs that are not explicitly marked as being pro, which is indicated by that gold crown, sometimes when you get them into your canvas, you'll see a watermarking. And that can sometimes also indicate that there are elements of the design that you might need to actually pay for. So bear that in mind as well. If you are trying to stick to free assets, it might take a little bit of searching to find something that is completely free, but they are there, and the options are plentiful, even if they might be a little harder to find because everything is mixed in together. Once you find something that you like, then a lot of them have what's called a frame element. So if you see this here with the photo of this cute little girl, if I just delete that, what will happen is the image will be removed and replaced with this very generic looking landscape. Essentially what that is in Canva is a frame element. And now I can take one of my photos, drag and drop it into right over that frame element. And what that frame element does is that it will crop my photo to the size and shape of that frame. And so that is one way that you can create your video thumbnails, which is to find a design that appeals to you. You can continue to make tweaks to it. Let's say you didn't like the color scheme. You can always change the colors on all of the fonts and just about all of the elements, most likely. Just click and see what your options are. But these frame elements are really handy because once you have your template set up, all you need to do is then drag and drop your project photo into those frame elements, update the video title, and then you're good to go. If you have a specific design in mind and you want to create one from scratch, you can just click on Add Page and you have a blank canvas to start from. If you click on that Elements button, you'll find there are a lot of different shapes that you can work from. And these give you lots of basic building blocks that you can add to your canvas. You can scale them, you can rotate them, you can move them around, you can change the colors on them. There are so many different options for how to change all of these elements. And You can even, if you don't like the colors that are being suggested by Canva, you can use the color picking tool to select very specific colors. Let's say you have some very specific brand colors that you want to stick to, then those options are there for you as well. But remember that frame element I mentioned earlier? Well, that is one of the things that really does make these templates much speedier to create, because you can essentially have a placeholder where you want your project to be shown, and it doesn't necessarily matter what aspect ratio you've taken the original photo in. So I take my photos in just that regular landscape format. But most of the time when I go to share my project, it's actually in a square format. And so if that's what I want for my video thumbnails as well, I don't have to actually do any photo editing before I start creating my video thumbnail. I can just drop it into one of those frame elements and it will actually clip my project photo according to that shape. So let me show you where to find that. If you click on the elements and then just search for the word frames, that's going to bring up this whole category of elements. And you can see all of the various different shapes of frames you can add. I'm going to keep it pretty basic, but there are some really fun ones that you might want to play with just to explore and see what your options are. And as with anything else, you can scale these up and down, you can rotate them, and move them around your canvas. You can also change the layering. So you see how the banner is behind it? There's a position button towards the top, and if you click that, you can send whichever element you currently have selected. You can either send that backwards or bring that forwards and change the layers. Here's another fun one that might actually show you a little bit better how these frame elements work. So if I were to drag my project over, you can see that it's clipped to this kind of swoosh design, and it is just an interesting different way of showcasing your project. And so I'll go back and just get that plain square again, just so that we can keep this nice and simple. But you should explore and see all the different options that are available to you, and find one that you think might be fun to use, and maybe stick with that as a template for at least a little while. I like to try to stick to a template, maybe two templates if I have different types of videos I like to create. And that just makes my process so much faster and easier every time I go to upload a new video onto YouTube. So now with everything in place, I can drag and drop my project photo in, double click on that photo if I want to edit it some more. So for example, if it's too zoomed out, I can always stretch that image and make it larger. There are some basic photo editing options like brightening your photo, changing the contrast, changing the color a little bit. I always recommend trying to take your photo as cleanly and as well lit and in the best condition you can. That way, when it comes to this point of creating your video thumbnails and your project photos that are watermarked for sharing, you can really minimize the post-processing editing that you have to do. Once you're ready, you can click that share button up at the top, then click the download drop down, and you can choose which page you want to actually download. If you make a couple of different video templates, you can keep them all in the same file, just separated onto different pages, and that way you can use the one that you need when you need it. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope it was helpful. If you still have questions, do leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. And if you have suggestions for different topics that you'd like me to cover, let me know that in the comments as well. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.